up.
Hello, welcome to recording version of Great Ace Attorney. I'm sorry,
Yay!
but due to stream errors from today at the time of this recording, I have to resort to doing recordings of Great Ace Attorney instead. So, unfortunately, this be the circumstances that I'm in. I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do. My internet's being crappy, so if I can cut out the most obvious logical reason why the internet's acting like crap, then it should help a bit better. So, yeah. All right, let's continue where we were.
Kyle. Oh,
Nope, Andrew.
Well, it's a good thing his granny's dead.
to summarize, then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor.
You make it sound like we're clumsy.
Don't forget we tidied up after the good little boys. Anyway, the way I see it.
Hold it!
You're saying that Mr. Windenbank had a gun in his hands.
Oh yeah, that was a sign, eh? The two waving of guns at each other. Must have got pretty heated. I mean, just before he shouted out, we had the geezer say, "You don't want to get shot."
Didn't really sound like he meant it, mind you. More of an empty threat, you could say.
Mr. Winterbank was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping, he'd readily put a bullet in someone's head if required. That someone being himself, of course.
Hold on.
Good grief! Extraordinary devotion indeed, if allowing me this guided.
He certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only, the person he was going to shoot beat him to it. Cooked his goose proper.
Bet you wish he squished the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun." It was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot.
Yeah, it was more or less at the same time, Gov. Give me that gun.
BAM!
The reenactment, that was... Bravo.
Kind of thing. Yes, a career in acting, very tragically missed.
Then we had the sound of something we'd forget. Before everything went dead quiet.
After that, we done the slapdash job tidying the place up.
Hold it!
So, you didn't try to open the storeroom door down.
Out of your mind.
It went deadly quiet after that, it did. Put the wind right up me. But anyway, the door was locked with it. No way it was opening. Yes, of course, it was locked from the inside, or so we've been led to believe. It was, Gov, it was from the inside.
Right, so we had no way of knowing what was going on in there, did we?
Unless there's some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom. Like through a keyhole, or a spy hole, perhaps?
Don't ring no bells.
No light, no lights! We had to cut and run before we noticed anything like that. I think that's you,
We're still
Kyle.
cutting our teeth in this game, see? One day. We'll really cut the mustard.
Please, cut it out.
But as we know, behind that door was the victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away.
Yes, unfortunately. Gina was there, unconscious, with the gun in her hand.
To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom?
That's right. Go, Mrs. Right.
Couldn't have him if we wanted to.
Hold it!
Yes, whereupon you fired a shot of your own gun at Mr. Herlock Shlom's.
Oh, yeah, it was a bit hasty there.
It was nice, it was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up.
Yummy.
Shaking like a leaf. Don't put a loaded gun in your hand.
Good advice, miss, good advice.
Truth be told, my mind went totally blank.
Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand.
It's a look, mate, miss.
After that, we legged it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers or some mat, so they kept the derbies on us like winking.
After you've been handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct?
Well, yeah.
But listen, that proves it, doesn't it, eh?
Hold it!
And why should we believe that?
Eh? What? Well, 'cause it's true, isn't it?
That place was totally empty when we went in.
At that time, the victim was already in the storeroom. Having been forced to open the door by the accused who had a gun to his head. In other words, on the night in question, these two witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the prom bakery, Mr. Winterbank. Correct?
You've got it, mister.
Damn or tea.
So, the Skulkin brothers never actually encountered Mr. Winterbank. Is that really true? I wonder. That's it? That's the full extent of their testimony?
Hey, Runo, you look very fierce. I could pour you some herbal tea if you're tired.
Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh, but I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something. Something important. It's nothing more than a feeling, though. I have no proof to support it.
Well, feelings can be very logical at times.
Sorry?
People's expressions, the movement of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that in, and your brain will quietly analyze it to come up with a feeling like you described. You've concluded that there's something suspicious about this testimony without knowing why. That's all. I think you should trust your instincts.
Iris, thank you. Sometimes I think if she's 10 years old, I must be 5.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Okay, we ruffled a couple things. Just before that, they heard "Give me that gun," and then was holding the gun, so we should have fired. So you don't know that girl. Give me fright. That's so we were thinking.
If you get stuck, me and Kyle know what's going on.
Evidence. So. So, there's ammunition still loaded in 5 of these revolvers' 6 cylinders.
Yes, which tells us that only a single shot has been fired from it.
Exactly.
The bullet that hit Hurley, in fact, isn't it?
Yes, it happens almost as soon as we walked up through the bank's door.
I'll make those brothers pay.
Oh, wow.
Dang, Iris.
Okay.
Scary bean.
I know, right?
Is...
She is a scary bean.
I would
Huh,
not
okay.
want to go up against Iris in any situation.
Yeah.
I'd be outsmarted, outgunned, outclassed. Like, I don't need to be upped by a 10-year-old.
She would play you like a goddamn fiddle.
Literally.
To quote right-hand man from Alexander Hamilton, we are outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, and we're outplanned. That is Iris.
All I can think about every time I hear that is, we are outgunned, what? Outmanned, what? But you're outnumbered, boom, boom. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
that is Iris.
that's Iris. You have to pop your 2 prints in here to start with, you see?
And then, when you look through the eyepieces, you can see the image in 3 dimensions.
The important thing is to get right is the position of the 2 prints.
I don't know who came up with the idea of a stereoscope, but it's really quite fascinating. Oh, I can't view 2 images with this?
Apparently not.
Well, how did you present that as evidence? Oh my god.
You just throw it at his head, obviously.
Okay,
You'd be like, "Take that."
so...
Are you stuck, Andrew?
I'm just reviewing some evidence. Okay, I'm stuck.
I'm just sitting here being unhelpful.
So, Andrew, at the statement, the new statement that these guys say, nope,
Nope, that's the one.
is it? I thought it was this one.
The new statement was this one, I think. Because they didn't originally mention they heard a voice. It was Gregson that pointed that out.
Yeah. I think so. It's either one of those 2 statements. I can't remember. But look at the crime scene photograph. Like the actual crime scene photograph. Or sorry, not that one. The one with Gina, I think it is, if I remember correctly. He's not holding a gun.
Isn't that why he's saying give it? Because he wants it?
But he says here, the bloke what owned the place
Oh,
was
okay.
holding the gun, so he should have
Okay.
fired instead of yelling at the girl.
But that
Right?
doesn't make sense. Why would he be yelling at her to give him the gun if he had the gun? Their testimony is...
Objection.
That's the point.
That's the whole point.
Their testimony contradicts each other and I can't believe I didn't see it!
I know, right?
Maggie!
You're saying on
Anyway.
the night in question, the victim, Mr. Winterbeck, was wielding a gun, is that correct?
That's it, Gav. You've got the picture.
Yes, Nash, yes, no question. And yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Winterbeck was not in possession of a firearm of any description.
Objection.
Oh, he doesn't even slam his desk.
You surprised me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more?
Ah.
Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken at a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, counsel.
Yeah, that's right.
Too right, Nash, too right. The old geezer could have been about to turn the tables on the girl, eh? Hardly likely.
No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence.
Wait, hold up. It's been a while since I've played this, so I think I may have screwed up. But we were on the same, like, it's the same path. It's the same path.
Continue with the cross-examination, counsel, and heed my earlier warning, witnesses.
You don't have to say that if you don't want to.
This thing kind of sucks, honestly. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I feel probably someone from.
So I presented the wrong piece of
What they're
evidence.
saying against each other?
No.
That's unfortunate. That's all
So
I would
the
do
evidence-
as a lawyer, is
No.
just poke holes in arguments.
So the evidence doesn't technically stand up, but... Huh. So it's not technically conclusive, but... Is it Mr. Windenbank's gun?
No, it's not the gun, right, Kyle?
Don't think so.
Yeah, I don't remember it being the gun. I actually think it.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think this is the statement you're supposed to do yet.
Are you sure?
Well, because you had the right match, but the judge turned you down, but not a penalty. So like usually there's something else.
Heard the voice and now give me the gun.
Maybe is it
Which trial are we on?
trial 5?
Oh, I know what
Case
you're doing.
5. Case 5.
It off me too, so I can't quite remember.
Because I remember, because these guys are making a statement that, we know that Mr. Windenbank didn't have a gun, and Gina was using his revolver. So I'm just thinking.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we're missing something on that, give me that gun statement first. And then it works.
Hold it!
Alright, let's go back into text. Yes.
Here's a dumb idea. There's the same picture that you presented before, presented on this statement instead.
Trying to think here.
Save.
Because I know we're on the right track. I'm just.
Objection.
God damn it, I was wrong.
Oh god, his dying eyes!
His
No.
eyes.
Okay, so that wasn't...
What's statement 3?
Oh wait, is this a picture?
I thought I
That's
wait.
the crime
no,
scene
no, no, no.
photographed on this one.
It has to be the crime. It has to be the crime scene photograph.
Oh damn it.
Yes, yes. It's.
Objection.
It is this
It's that one.
It is this one.
You're welcome.
Damn it.
I knew it was either one of those photographs. I couldn't remember. So thank you, Cammy.
So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windenbeck, was wielding a gun. Is that correct?
That's it, Cal. I got the picture.
It is, Nash, it is, no question. And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windenbeck was not holding a firearm of any description. Eh? You what?
God damn it. That ain't right.
Objection.
There could be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Winterbank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand.
He's standing on a box.
Yeah. He's too short for the
Stand. That's fucking hilarious.
he's
Hey
too
Nash,
short for
why
the
am I
witness
standing
stand.
on this box?
He's too short for the witness stand.
Tell me that. Yeah, the mall tool used the victim's own gun to finish him off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, gun.
Damn! Got all of it.
Hold it.
Stay exactly where you are. Right there. Ugh. If the crime scene had taken place as you so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out.
Goodness, are you sure, Counsel?
You intrigue me, my learned friend. But let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witnesses' portrayals of the victim's final moments?
I'll just do the gun photo again, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
It's the
it'd be-
autopsy report, because wouldn't it say it didn't that? Doesn't it say it was shot from behind?
I don't think it clarifies, but considering he's face down on the ground.
the bullet entered the body from the back on
Oh,
a
never mind.
gently rising diagonal trajectory.
I'm on a roll today. I have the brain cell.
The brain cell!
And the funny thing is, me and Kyle played this fucking trial. We should know, but we don't.
It's also been
Uh.
such a long time since I've seen this trial. Like,
Yeah, it's been a while since I turned on Ace Attorney, so. I
According
really
to
should
their
start playing
testimony,
Part 2, but.
the witnesses claimed that they to have heard a shout of "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshot.
Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or we've been led to believe.
Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. Oh. So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency with your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Shulkin. Ah! Why am I still in the box?
Bad that these two remind me of Wario and Waluigi.
I think
I
that's
was
the
thinking
idea.
the same
No.
thing.
no, I 100% get it.
I think that was kind of the gist of it.
I mean, they're
Because-
all pretty basically dressed like Mario and Luigi, so like, I would
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
be surprised if there was a reference there.
Also, I just want to inform everyone, just in general that Mario's last name is Mario, so his full name is Mario Mario, and
So that
Luigi's
means
full
Luigi's
name
name-
is Luigi Mario.
I remember that. I
Which
was
is
like,
why
what?
the
That
Super
doesn't make
Mario
sense.
Bros. I have so many random Nintendo facts.
I knew that actually.
I also have that one.
Travels to Portal. I will come back with another Nintendo fact tomorrow.
I will just start posting Nintendo facts in the chat. I don't care. I'll do it.
I will fight you on that if there's an inconsistency somewhere.
Okay. I've gotten all my facts from official Nintendo sites, so go off, I guess. I've had to do research on this fish. Let's go.
She's got the certificate concluding that she's the official Nintendo
Emmy has
historical
the,
guide.
Yeah, has the Nintendo nerd.
I hate it. I don't want to be here, but somehow I'm here.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's
I
fair.
just absorb random facts.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, let's keep going.
What's the God's honest truth?
It is Nash. It is when we was shot that night.
When you were shot that night.
The shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. I saw him with an unblamed eyes.
Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Windenbank holding a gun?
Something like that might have slipped out.
I love these two. They're idiots.
Right?
Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun. Which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Nash,
I know.
why behind the box still?
Order! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once.
Well, the thing is, we're supposed to,
It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witnesses would be. That false witness would be the death of you.
And Zeeks, you can't murder people in the courtroom.
Am
That'll
I
just
to
start a whole new case.
I mean, Van Zeeks is not called the Reaper of the Bailey for nothing.
I mean, he just needs to chill.
Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies?
ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, see,
Cut it out, Nash, cut it out! If you blab now, you know what it'll do to us. He? Who are they talking about?
We make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There's no other option available to you.
Ugh.
well, come on, the game's up.
But he'll have all our guts for the goddess. In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. Ugh. Oh, that's you.
I'd also like to point out that all of the lawyers in this room currently have a sword.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I don't know about y'all, but if all the lawyers in like a court case that I was in had a sword, I would just tell them the truth. If one of them was threatening to kill me with said sword, I would just tell them the truth.
You see,
I wouldn't
the
blame
thing
you.
The thing is, Rhinosuke would not threaten to kill you with his sword. Like, his sword is just there. Van Zeke's, you probably would have to worry about.
Oh,
Yeah, but I feel like Rhinosuke just has like that little bit of like big dick energy with the sword, you know? Like I wouldn't want to fuck with him because I don't know if he would use it or not, you know? Like I wouldn't know what the circumstances to him using it would be.
I
you
would
don't
trust.
know and you don't want to find out.
Exactly.
I would trust Rhinosuke more than I would trust Van Zeke's.
Honestly, Rhinosuke reminds me of Cam if she had a sword.
Why is that, Cammy? Please do explain.
Because I would trust you not to stab me immediately, but I'm not entirely sure what your stabbing limit is. And I'd prefer to not find out.
Yeah, that's fair.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
That's fair.
Anyway.
I
Oh,
can be
look.
very mean and feisty if I want to be. It just, it all depends if I'm just in a silly, goofy mood.
it's a silly, goofy mood.
Yeah.
I'm very, very frightened right now.
Good.
You get used to it.
You should be.
I was just like, yeah, this is every day for me.
Kyle gets subjected to us every day, so.
I mean,
Oh,
he chooses to be here, so really it's his own fault.
I really
That's yeah, no, that's on him.
Yep.
Right? So, oops. Anyway,
On the dying question, it is now apparent that you brothers have met face to face with the victim. I demand you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place.
Kyle?
Oi,
wait, did
Nash.
that go?
No.
Oi, Nash,
Oh, weird. Well,
do we have to?
On pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your last chance to tell the truth.
Guys, you over here just like took style of execution.
On pain of death? Oh my god, Van Zeeks.
Just we can took the style of execution.
Right.
Is he still the prosecutor in the second game?
Van Zeeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yes!
Oh, okay.
So we don't switch prosecutors. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's a bit. Hey. Right. So we just got inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when the old geezer showed his mug.
Give him that gun, he bellowed. And then he flew out like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it.
For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter.
I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through that door in the back room.
We never had nothing to kill him. Yeah, we never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear.
So you're now telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop.
What? Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah. Sorry.
Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably.
But honest, Governor, this time.
This time, Nash, this time we ain't got nothing more to hide.
Very well, Counsel of the Defense, you may just proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for.
imagine hearing that in court.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, my lord!
Yes,
Yes, my lord!
No, like, especially going to a court where, like, your defense attorney is from Japan, and you just hear, "Yes, my lord!" from this
Cry. I would
Japanese
just start
man.
crying.
Just this is it. This is how I die.
I'd be like, this is the end.
So
I'm
you've
going to jail.
so
Bye.
you've chosen death.
Literally.
I mean, look on
That's
the
what
bright
would go
side, at
through
least
my
there.
head.
I mean, look on the bright side. At least their attorney didn't try to cross-examine a parrot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we haven't hit those
Or
levels
his,
yet.
Or
I
his,
just confess at that point. I don't care if I did it or not.
It
It's like,
literally.
or his client is a killer whale, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
I'd just
much.
be like, you know what? Just put me in jail. It's got to be more normal than this. It's got to be more normal than this. I don't even know what the fuck's going on anymore.
Honestly, I'm just sitting here excited for us to get to the second game because I get to do most of the talking second game first trial.
Yay!
Yay!
Well, I'm hurrying as fast as I can.
We get distracted. It's okay.
You know what? But us doing this banter makes the stream more interesting.
Yeah, except it's not a stream.
But
Hey,
technically,
finally.
it's a stream. Technically, it's a stream. So.
It is
Hey.
for us.
Also,
Because it is gonna be
you
put
can
on
tell that it's
YouTube.
not scripted. You can tell that it's not scripted by how annoyed with us you are.
Slightly.
This is what you get, Andrew. But listen, these streams would be so boring without any of us, so.
No, I'd just be playing in silence, honestly.
And that sucks.
Talking to yourself, which is I don't know if that's better or not. You know? Anyway.
Your turn, Mr. Rhinosuke.
Oh.
I need
When
to
you
hear
say
geezer.
when you say Giza. Sorry, that too overexpressionist.
Beautiful. 10 out of 10.
Amazing.
10 out of 10.
When you say Giza, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Winterbeck? Who else? Sorry, I mean, that's right.
We was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. But we never thought that no one was gonna come out of the back room like that.
The back room being the pawnbrokery storeroom? Yeah, that must have been where he popped up from. Only place it could have been.
Alright, I went to go grab more food. Just give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
So it would seem the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises. Ow, I ran my hand into my chair when I quickly hopped on mic. Ow.
That.
Ow.
Which means Ginny must have been in there at that point as well.
But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Winterbeck into the storm with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived?
Oh, I don't know.
Aww. Little
Did
irony
you see
about
the
this.
accused at that time? What, that Moltula? Couldn't tell ya.
No way, Comma. We had bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it.
Ah, poor Gina. Has to deal with this bullshit.
Yeah. You mentioned that Mr. Winterbank shouted those words in your previous testimony too. However, you claimed that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door.
Ow, did we?
I like how he's just standing there, just chilling.
He's just making sure they're abiding.
Briggson's there just to eat his fish and chips in peace, with like no one in Scotland Yard to disturb him. You know, he's just there to have
Yeah.
a good time. He's just vibing.
But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he?
the victim Mr. Winterbank wielding a gun at the time?
Was he ever? Blimey, lummy! A great ugly bear he had pointed straight at me frontispiece. So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Winterbank with the gun at the time. Is that right? It is, Gov, it is. Spot on.
And all of a sudden, he came at us, he did.
It was Bedlam. I didn't know who was going for who. You were clearly all going for each other. Like Nash said, we thought he had it. I mean...
Hold it!
Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too. Well, yeah, of course we did.
They knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull whatnot.
That got tangled into marionette, what knocked over a picture frame, what knocked them scales on the floor. So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter?
Well, Big Bravia went flying over that counter like a gunshot, I can tell you. Then the old geezer pinned him.
He did, Nash, he did. If you hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a booming pancake in seconds.
The time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There was a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim.
That's right. When the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they?
Sir Winterbank, he did everything he could to protect his shop.
Hold it!
Were you intending to shoot Mr. Windenbag?
Nah, never. I was just, you know. Looking out for me, bruv, weren't I? He was being flattened, don't forget.
By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes.
And then, the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran up to that door and shut himself in.
There's something about that last remark, something that doesn't quite ring true.
I wonder when Mr. Winterbank ran away to the storeroom.
What?
Well, according to what everyone's saying, Ginny was in there waiting for him with a gun.
Ah, yes, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Windenbank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Windenbank's hands again?
I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it?
This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it.
No, right is. Can't be Bravia.
That's right, Nash, that's right. Me and me brother, yeah?
Hold it!
You say it had nothing to do with it?
Nothing at all.
Nothing, Gov, nothing. That old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he?
Locked it, lads, from the inside.
We know it was because we tried to open it.
That's a decent door, that one. Good and strong. Wouldn't budge an inch.
And the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. The sole person who possibly have shot the victim. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Ah!
It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel?
I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could have possibly shot Mr. Windenbag? Was there anyone?
I mean, I don't think so, but there like had to have been.
Because if you both know, they confirms you were shot. Them.
Like, we don't have an option. There has to be someone else there.
Yeah, there has to be.
Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
What?
What's that look for? From the moment you admitted that you encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely.
It did?
What is your point, my learned friend?
The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Windenbag? And is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all.
You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which is locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be?
Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect to those two conundrums.
2, my lord. Twice as many chances to be right, maybe?
Indeed, namely, from what locations did the culprit shoot the victim, and furthermore, where was the victim at the time?
Understood, my lord.
You alright, Bruno?
I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I'm sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely.
So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun.
Where
You
do I
need help,
point?
Andrew.
I
can help
don't know. You know what? Yeah, I
Maybe the
have.
door?
Or be right outside the door.
Like right outside the door.
Right
Right
here.
outside the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that!
Because
Defense
there's a
believes that the
window,
culprit-
isn't there?
The defense believes that the culprit could have been shot from the victim from this location here. Oh, that's wrong. Oh, no mind.
And an answer to the second question? Sorry, I have food in my mouth. Assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time?
Right next to him.
Nope.
Remember, the
He was
victim's
a-
in the storeroom.
Victim's in the storeroom.
So he's here.
Mm-hmm. There's a window in the door.
Take that!
He did die there.
He did die there.
The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom.
Continue. God,
Mr.
I
Wyndham-
love Van Zeeks. He
God.
It just did that word.
Mr. Windenbach died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of the blood in the storeroom, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the failed bullet was fired?
So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom.
Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony, oh, okay. If Mr. Windenbeck ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time.
Oh,
It was precisely at that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man at the back once he was inside the storeroom. Ah!
Ah!
Think of it. Do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? Man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety.
Ah, of course! He would have been leaning forward as he was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body on an upward trajectory.
Oh, the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Windenbank.
No, there's the objection.
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock?
Ah, but what if someone else locked the door? Yes, there's someone else who could have locked the door in the storeroom.
Is that so?
very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario just described, the defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from the outside the storeroom. In which case, who shut and locked the storeroom door from the
Inside. It was Gina. That makes sense. Right? Cause he was shot, so he would have fallen over. And assuming Gina was still in the storeroom looking for the manuscript, she would have noticed and probably locked the door in order to make sure that no one would see her, right?
Hmm?
Sounds like a
Yeah.
good
Yep. Sounds solid to me.
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection.
That's absurd.
You know it's absurd taking a bathroom break.
What?
You know what's also absurd? Pausing the recording for some odd reason. So I'm gonna be right back quickly.
Okay.
Alright.
We can just sit and stare at Venzeeks.
When I asked what trial we were on, I literally just pulled up all of the evidence. So I could
Hey!
look at it,
You're cheating!
so I could look at it, and so I could like see it without Andrew having to like scroll through, and I just like could look at all the evidence. And it's not like I looked up a walkthrough. I was just looking at it.
That's cheating!
How am I cheating by basically just going into the fucking court record and history?
Fair enough, fair enough. I'm kidding,
I've transcribed the game. I have ascended.
You've transcended the brain cell.
Literally. Brain cell is flexing today.
news.
Cammy got Zhongli, and now the brain cell can actually work.
There's no longer Shangli brain rot in here anymore.
The brain rot has blessed you with brain cells.
Yes. I took his brain cells in exchange for him coming home.
No, Cammy took his brain cells for the exchange of osmanthus wine tastes the same as I remember.
Literally.
No. You took the brain cells to blackmail him to come home.
Yes. I just haven't given them back yet.
strongly you're coming home. And I'm taking your
Literally.
brain cells.
You want them? Come get them.
Right?
You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room. For what possible reason? Such actions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck. Oh fuck, Benzies.
I am inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel?
Seriously? That's your response to that? Yes, that's a tricky one, that isn't it?
Alright, Nosuke, your phoenix is showing.
Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please.
Shinny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it?
It does?
Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they?
Oh yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr.
Wait.
Windenbank were in the storeroom together.
What?
I can't. I figured it out.
Oh.
Wait, Cammy, send me a private message. I want to see if you're on the right track.
Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Windenbank must have heard the intruders breaking into the shop and left the storeroom. Intruders, eh? Hey, that's us, bro!
If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom.
Yes, it would. Then, probably 1 month later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Windenbank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment?
I see where you're going with this.
Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Windenbank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
Oh! Well, he has to hold it!
Yes.
That's new.
But I mean, we're the ones who done it.
Wait, Gov, we ain't. You gotta believe us. I mean, come on, we never shoot no one. That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would, because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Shlomes. There was only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windenbank's murder. Ah! Where does this leave us? You mean to say it wasn't the pickpockets shot the poor broker after all? Should've known it was those three brothers. They look shady as a dense forest.
It's amazing, Runo. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now.
I know! First time ever! And probably the last. Of course, here it comes.
I think you've done it. Surely they'll give a verdict of...
Oh, he's laughing.
An admirable effort, my learned friend.
What's this now? He's laughing?
You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zieks. I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive.
This man hands us more evidence, I swear to God. If I have to find another piece of evidence in the trove of Google, I'm gonna be upset. Oh. Alright, Van Zeeks, let's fucking see it.
Show us the
dare
proof.
say,
I mean, he was laughing earlier, so he's either handing you more evidence or your ass on a platter.
Probably both at this point.
such,
Yeah.
such chiansery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here.
What?
Those are some big words there, Van
Just
Zeeks.
Damn.
Van Zeek studied his
Ew,
thesaurus before coming into this case.
To quote friggin' Mr. the Red Monster himself, Elmo. Balsamic vinegar? That's a big word for Elmo.
Hi, Rocco. I
Hi,
love
Rocco.
those. I love those memes. They're so good.
God, they're great.
The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly, credibly cannot and will not stand. Big words, Van Zeeks.
He really did study his thesaurus before showing up today.
As you see, it contains a fatal flaw.
Oh, fatal flaw. I'm not surprised at this point now.
Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failings?
I say, Lord High Six. I like the idea of explaining this poly conjuring trick or whatever it is to the troops on the ground.
Flaw in my learned friend's argument is very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets.
I'm just gonna comment in the background. God damn it, get the broom, Jim. You got another one.
Another
put
hollow
that glass
chalice
in.
broken. How much?
Glass, you just wasted perfectly good wine.
Honestly, we don't even know what that vintage is.
How
That
much-
looks
I know, right?
expensive.
Perfectly good wine. He just poured the cup.
Do you guys think that Van Zeeks in his house just has a room full of his hallowed chalices?
Like Ida with all of his spare glasses.
Yeah.
Just goes
Yeah.
into is about to go to court and brings like a bag. It's like, all right,
It's a whole extra
how many
bag.
chalices?
Oh.
Just like, how many chalices will I need today? How much wine will I need? How much juice will I need?
You think he counts? He probably has like a
No,
secretary to just haul it in for him.
Literally.
He's packing all of his hallowed chalices, and his assistant is like, "Sir, it's Ryanosuke Naruhodo. Oh shit, I need to pack more. God damn it!"
No,
Oh, God damn it!
It's like a night squire, but instead of a sword, it's wine.
Oh,
Right?
shit.
It's like, sir, Mr. Naruto will be at the trial as the defense. Ah, damn it!
Oh,
Woman,
damn it.
get me more chalices.
Ah, bring me my chalice!
Whole
How
carriage-
many, sir?
Whole carriage like full of chalices.
Oh, Lord Fanseeks, is this all your
It's half
chalices for
gallon,
today?
half wine.
Yeah.
Lord Fanseeks, is that all your chalices today, sir?
Every time Van Zeeks chucks a chalice.
Oh, God.
We would die.
Jesus.
That's a Friday stream event, I feel like.
That'd be a fun time.
That would be a fun time.
Boy, George.
Yeah.
By, by George, count bullets.
Oh dear. He noticed then.
Huh? What's everyone talking about?
You really can't kill.
Council.
Yes, sir!
That snap to attention. Rhinosuke's like, oh my god, he's speaking to me. Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime.
Two bullets.
Correct. The first that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene.
I like how you just put detective in quotations.
Detective.
The detective.
The
He understands
detective.
how he does not fall for his bullshit.
He doesn't fall for the himbo energy.
Indeed. The defense presented the picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Schlums appears to have passed through his body to strike the calendar.
Lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Winterbank, and the Skulkins brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun.
Yes, indeed it does, and single bullet from each.
Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these 2 brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes.
Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I think you'll find.
Is this me?
I think that was
think so.
Cameron.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. That if a single bullet that was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means... Winnipeg Nash up, I said gun. Stop. I sound like a freaking robot when I do that. And I know you guys can't see it, but like on camera, if I have my camera on, every time I'm like tapping my finger on the table as if I'm like Morse code. Just stop. Stop. Exactly. Yes. This Nipponese street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny.
I'm not surprised, actually. I was expecting it.
I love that animation so much. Rhinosuke just looks like he's been like shot in the chest and he's just flops over and you just see his slumped over body as the camera like zooms out.
Order!
Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery.
Ah, come on, Jeb! Get the broom again.
Did you guys
Also-
see how? Did you guys see how he picked it up?
Oh yeah.
He just picked up with 2 fingers and just flinged it.
Just 2 fingers on like the lip of the bottle and just casually just threw it over his shoulder. Like, are your fingers like arms there, Mr. Benzix?
I mean, to be fair, it's not that hard to pick up a bottle with 2 fingers.
Yeah, not if it's a full bottle of wine though.
Tyler, you realize that the next time we hang out, you're gonna have to do this.
With a
You're gonna
with
have to
an empty
prove
bottle or a
yourself.
full bottle.
No, a full one. We'll buy you some cheap wine just so you can throw it.
Yeah.
No, Lord Van Six, you know how much that costs to clean?
Please say your
Fine.
words. But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. The The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present.
The disc. Yes, that music box disc. McGilda's music box disc.
The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Windenbank, the accused attempted to make off with this article which clearly doesn't belong to her. And with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen imprudence.
Good gracious.
Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed. No crime she would not commit. The court forgets the fact at its peril.
I see.
Yeah, the guy with the mouse! The Russian guy with the mouse.
Yeah.
I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel, as a grim testament to the defendant's character.
Hello then, Zeke. So
Inspector Gregson? What?
Yes, Inspector.
today, y'all, with the prosecution service, and I think it was agreed that that disc wouldn't be used as evidence.
What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zieks at all.
I'm unaware of any such meeting.
But those were the instructions right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent.
Inspector, I'm the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your
Sure,
warning
Van
is
Zieks.
noted. Thank you.
Because that's how trials work.
The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord.
Indeed, bailiff!
The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. There is nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case.
Of course. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once for all 5 minutes!
Dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Runo.
My lord! Oh, sorry. That wasn't me.
I
Kyle!
don't know if I might say something at this point.
Proceed, Mr. Foreman.
Being stubborn about it done for fog up till now, if truth be told. But all of a sudden, now it is barely obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it.
Oh no.
Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your leanings to the defendant's culpability.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Yay! It's another guilty verdict.
Which means...
We have a consensus among the jury, it seems.
When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Oh, we're taking a jab at
My
Iris
line.
now.
I wrote that for Hurley. How dare he use that against us?
Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's only one thing I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windenbank. That's beyond any doubt.
Very well. We will proceed with the second summonation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and other jurors ready?
Gaudium Squad is primed and ready for action, sir.
Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have come to determine the defendant to be guilty.
Sorry, back in just a second.
Okay. Damn it, we're doing this again! Let's save first. Do I want to go through this or I just want to cut it here?
Okay, knock.
I mean, up to you. It is,
It's almost a lot. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of thinking this seems like a good place to stop because at least when we come back to it, at least we just kind of jump into why they believe why he's guilty or she is guilty. I don't have to go back and digging through. It's like, oh, what happened after that? We established that she's not that the jury is
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
fair.
cut the record. I'm gonna cut the recording here. So, yeah.
Yay!